Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I want to talk about the Zodiac Killer. This obviously doesn't have anything to do with the David Fincher film from with Jake Gyllenhaal from, I don't know, 10 years ago or 8 years ago, whatever it was. This is a AGFA or AGFA, American Genre Film Archive video, along with Something Weird. It was put out by MVD Visual. This movie is pretty interesting. The story behind it, most are saying, is more interesting than the movie itself, but I thought the movie was pretty cool too. I've really gotten into the AGFA releases lately, so I found a seller who was selling this on Facebook, and I decided to give it a whirl. The movie is obviously about the Zodiac Killer from, what was it, the 70s, I guess? I guess it was the early 70s. And it also has a double feature on here with Another Son of Sam, which is a very low budget film about, I guess, another son of Sam. I have yet to watch it. The movie is a very liberal, broad-stroked film about the Zodiac Killer, who he is, and how he's killing people and they can't catch him, which obviously, if you know the story of the real Zodiac Killer, they never did catch him. He put out all these clues and these codes or whatever for people to try and crack, and they were never able to crack them, and they never caught him. At this point, he's most likely very dead. So the story is about who they think the Zodiac Killer is and him going around killing people. Everything's very 70s-ish because the movie was made in 71. Very cheesy. The blood and the violence is pretty goofy. It has a lot of that like weird flute playing music that you heard in like 70s movies. But it's a fun little romp. I don't want to spoil anything and say who they put the Zodiac Killer as in the film, but if you like obscure movies and things that maybe you've never heard of, AGFA puts out all types of interesting stuff. They don't restore them. They just transfer them over to Blu-ray and DVD and then sell them. So it's more of a preservation thing than it is a restoration thing. That being said, it looked okay. It did have some scratches and lines and cigarette burns in, whatever they call them, cigarette burn marks on the film, but they just transfer everything over, and then they sometimes will put a double feature like on this one. So the movie's pretty fun. It's definitely a slice of 70s like life with the cars and the atmosphere, the styles. So that was pretty interesting. The funny thing about this film is that this movie was made to try and catch the Zodiac Killer. So the guy who made this put it out in like local theaters. I want to say it was not, I think it was LA though. It wasn't San Francisco. I think San Francisco is where the Zodiac Killer was, if memory serves. He put out the movie to try and get the Zodiac Killer to come to the theater and I guess disprove a lot of what they put in the movie, because the movie just takes a lot of liberties as to what happened, who it was, how the killings happened, and I guess a lot of them really aren't true. So they were hoping to, I guess, piss him off and for him to say, that's not how it happened, it was me, I did it like this. That didn't happen. They didn't catch the Zodiac Killer, but this was sort of a movie invented as a trap to catch the Zodiac Killer. It's very strange. It's definitely a B movie. It's definitely low budget. It was fairly well acted, and I felt like I've seen other 70s movies that had budgets that were in the same vein, but it's like got a kind of sleazy 70s feel to it, or a schlockiness, if you will. If you have any interest in the Zodiac Killer killings at all, I would recommend it. It's fun. It's not like to be taken very seriously. And you can't really go wrong. AGFA puts out a lot of really cool, obscure stuff. And on top of that, you get a bonus movie because Something Weird is part of this. And they always used to do that. They put bonus films out. So I probably won't do a video on Another Son of Sam, but never say never, I guess. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good companion piece, if you will, to the David Fincher Zodiac, which was very serious and interesting and creepy, because this is more of a lighthearted, schlocky, kind of grindy feeling movie. So let me know, guys, if you've seen this Zodiac Killer film, what you think, and if you find, the murders and such interesting, as macabre as that sounds. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.